Welcome back to part 3rd of the video series on leadership theories, unit 9, MPOB, management process and organizational behavior chapter of your organizational behavior paper. Now in the earlier videos, part 1 and part 2, we have discussed why leadership is very important, why the world is facing a lot of crisis, and why you as a manager or as a budding manager, as an MBA student, required to understand how leadership has evolved and how you can become a good leader. We have also discussed the various theories, the earlier two theories which had been given. The 1840s we had the great men's theory, and the 1930s we had the traits theory that were discussed, and now we are discussing the behavioral theories. The behavioral theories, we have done Iowa studies, we have done Ohio studies, we are now into Michigan studies. Michigan studies had two concerns that every leader, they believe that every leader has two concerns. One is concern for people and the other one is concern for production. Basis of that, Blake and Mountain gave a managerial grid which is very important from your examination point of view and for any competition point of view. Look at the particular visual that we have provided. On the x-axis we have concern for production, a leader who is concerned about the production, and on the y-axis we have leaders who have concern about the people. So there are various points 1 to 9. There are various points on the particular x-axis and y-axis. If you look at point 1, that is low on concern for people and low on concern for production, if there is a leader who falls in the bracket 1, he is impoverished in management. He is not managing the people, he is not managing the company in the proper way, in a good way. Now imagine a particular leader having a score of 9:1, wherein 9 is the x-axis, wherein his concern for production is very high, and 1 is the concern for people. His concern for people is very low. In that case, he will be a taskmaster. He'll be highly autocratic in nature. He'll be dictating terms, and he'll just be asking the people to do their work. At 9.1, he'll be totally a taskmaster. Now look at the other end of the particular spectrum, 1-9. 1-9 is basically when the concern for production is very low. This particular leader does not have much concern for production. X is 1, while Y is 9, which means he has a great concern for people. He is totally a relationship man. He is totally concerned about his men at the particular company. This kind of this kind of leadership is basically called country club management, wherein the leader you will find mostly socializing with his employees, with his managers, with his workers inside of clubs. He'll be socializing with them, but the production in that particular company will not be happening. The best in all these 4-5 options we have is 9-9. 9 meaning 9x is wherein he has great concern for people. The concern is as high as 9, and he has great concern for production. Even that is a 9. So both is 9-9. In this particular case, he will be having a great amount of production that is happening, and he'll be able to manage the particular company in the best possible way because he has very good relations with his particular workers and employees. Because of his good relations, he will get 100% of their work, motivation and morale high into the particular production, and the numbers will automatically zoom up. In between of all these things, we have middle of the road management, middle of the road leadership, wherein his concern for people is average, that is 5 out of 9, it is just 5, and concern for production is also 5. So this is a particular managerial grid, very important from your examination point of view, which tries to tell you what are the various options available for a manager. He can either choose to be a country club manager, wherein he has total concern for people, or he can just be totally concerned about the production, being a task manager. Or the best ideal ones are middle of the road or the team manager, that is 5.5 or 9.9. So these are the various ways in which behavioral studies were done by the researchers on management and leadership. Now coming to the next brand of theories, next level of theories, which was called the contingency theory. Contingency theory was basically propounded in the 1960s and 1970s. While the leadership theories were evolving, 1960s and 1970s gave you the contingency theory. It contingency theory basically says that there is no one leadership style. There is no one leadership style which is applicable to all the situations. Different situations demand different kind of leadership. And they said that one needs to change the leader according to the situation. Not every leader can fit every situation. So depending upon the situation, you have to change the leader. You have to use a different leader in a different kind of situation. This is what contingency theory in the 1960s and 1970s said. Success, they said, according to contingency theory, success does not depend on abilities. Success does not also depend on behavior of the particular individual. Success depends on how the leader is able to manage that particular situation. Situation can be difficult, situation can be easy. Depending upon the situation, the leader has to adapt himself, or the company needs to change the leader depending upon the situation. This concept of contingency theory was developed by Fred Fiedler in the 1950s, 58, 59, 60. So there are basically, Fiedler said that there is a mismatch, there is a fight between the leadership styles, the various leadership styles that we have discussed, the autocratic style, the democratic style, the laissez-faire style, depending upon the situation variables also. It does not depend totally on the leadership, it depends upon the situation also. What is a situational variable? Is it good? It is ugly? Is it a conflicting situation? So depending upon the situation, the leadership style needs to change, and the leader also needs to change, is what this particular theory said. Now Fiedler kept two variables inside of his particular theory. He said leadership style is very, very important. What is the leadership style? Number one. And number two was situational favorableness, whether the situation is favorable for the leader or not. Under leadership style, he said that there can be high LPC workers, high LPC leaders, and low LPC leaders. Now LPC is basically a term that Fiedler defined as the least preferred co-worker. So there was a particular cumulative score. We'll be covering that in a few moments. He said that LPC, high LPC workers will naturally be more relationship oriented. If somebody has a high LPC score, you can calculate the score. We'll tell you in 1 minute. You can define your LPC score. If somebody has a high LPC score, it means that he is more relation oriented. He is more people friendly. And if a leader had low LPC score, means he is more task oriented. In the situation variable, Fiedler kept in mind three things. He said the number one was leader member relationship, the second one was task structure, whether the task is structured or not, and third one was leader's position power. All these situation variables also affect a particular success of a leader in any situation. If the leader member relations are not very good, then people will not accept whatever he is telling. If the task structure, if the company is not structured in a well manner, if it's not having enough amount of structure inside of the company, processes are not defined, even then the leader will not be able to perform 100%. And if the leader's position power is not very important, if people are not giving respect to his chair of the leader, even then the leader will not be able to give results. So Fiedler kept these two concepts, leadership style and situational favorableness, inside of his mind while giving this particular theory. Now we talked about the LPC score. So a leader can define or find out his particular LPC score depending upon this particular chart that was given by Fiedler. He said left hand side was pleasant and right hand side is unpleasant. Depending upon various characteristics, you can define your leader's particular LPC score. If the LPC score of a particular leader is cumulatively low, it means he's more totally task motivated. He's totally concerned about the task and is not concerned about relationship. On the other hand, we can have middle LPC, somebody who is both task oriented and people oriented, somebody having a score between 58 to 63, and if the score is above 64, he is high LPC, meaning he's totally motivated by the relationships. He's totally standing for his employees, totally favoring his employees. He's concerned about relationships and not about the production or the task at hand. So these are the two extremes that you can have in the Fiedler contingency theory. Now Fiedler gave this particular diagram to understand. This particular diagram will be difficult for you to understand. So this particular diagram has been converted into a proper graph over here, a proper table over here. This will help you understand this particular Fiedler theory in the best possible way. He said there are 8 possibilities. there are 8 possibilities. If a leader-member relationship in a company, look at number 1, if the leader-member relationship in a company is good, if it is structured, and if his position power is strong, then you require somebody with low LPC. And with low LPC basically means somebody who is task oriented. So if the leader member relationship is good, if the task structure is structured, if the position power, if everybody respects the chair, in that case you can fit a leader over there with a low LPC. Meaning you can fit a person who is task oriented and he will get you good results. Look at option number 5. If a leader member relationship inside of a company is bad, if the company is having problems, if the management is always fighting with the leader with the workers, if it is bad, if the leader member relationship is bad, option number 5, if the task is still structured and if the position power is strong, you can send somebody with a high LPC score. Why? Because the leader member relationship is not good in that particular company. So you require a person who can handle the relationships in the best possible way. High LPC score, we have discussed earlier, meant somebody who had good relations with people, who is a good relationship person with people. So a good relationship person will solve a crisis which can arise in situation number 5. So this is a particular graphical representation of how you can apply for various situations inside of the company. Leader member relationship, task structure and position power, different situations inside of a company, you can fit a different leader. You have to change the leader according to the situation, is what Fiedler said in his particular theory. Now we move on to situational theory. This is similar in sound to what the other theory was, but it is slightly different. In contingency theory, we changed the leader according to the particular situation. But in situational theory, we can ask the leader to adapt himself. The situation is very demanding. We will ask the leader to adapt himself to the situation. The leader is not changing. We do not require to change leader A. We do not ask leader A to go away and call in leader B. Over here in situational theory, we ask leader A to change his behavior and probably solve the problem. Since this video is once again exceeding this particular limit of 10 minutes, we'll be again pausing it over here and we'll be continuing in the part 4 of this particular series of videos. Thank you.